Hello, online pipe community. Ethan, Parsimonious Piper here. Today we have another Morsels for mental manducation. And yes, we are diving right into the last three chapters of C.S. Lewis' Mere Christianity. But first, in another carved pipe by Lee, 3-star, this one, an Indian head. Get that down in the light. You can see some of that beautiful carving a little more. Another bowl of Yanez 2023 cigar cake. Which we will talk about more fully tomorrow. Today's chapter in Mere Christianity is titled Counting the Cost. But we had been talking about giving up control and asking ourselves the question, what would Jesus do, in the context of trying to become like Christ? Where does all this lead? Well, in a lot of ways, it leads us right back to the beginning, because we started out talking about a universal moral law, and that this is in fact God's moral law, and that we've all broken it, and that in doing so, we've broken the relationship between us and God. Which the entire book led up to. Jesus' sacrifice makes healing that relationship possible, if we accept that gift. But as Lewis indicates, this comes with a cost, even though the gift itself is free. Because, see, more so than just restoring that relationship, God's standard is perfection. Now, he knows that we cannot achieve perfection in this life. And yet the standard is perfection. Well, if we are accepting this gift of reconciliation, what we're doing is surrendering control of our lives, and God is going to come in and he's going to fix some stuff. He's going to fix the things that are obviously broken. And here Lewis uses one of two analogies in this chapter that I really like. When you buy a house, supposing it's not new construction, when you buy a pre-existing home, you make a list of all the little things: the blinds, the curtains, plumbing fixtures, if there are any sidewalk cracks and things like that. You make lists of all of the little things that need to be fixed. And you decide, before you make a bid, whether you're going to ask the seller to fix those, or whether you're going to go in and buy the house and with the intention of fixing them up yourself. You're always going to fix the obvious things that need fixing. If you have plumbing or electrical issues, if you have leaks in the roof, those things are going to get fixed, regardless of which the seller or the buyer fixes them. Those things need to be fixed. Well, in our case, when God comes to buy our house, we have problems that we, as the quote-unquote seller, can't fix. He can. And he will. He'll fix those obvious things on our list of things that are broken, that need to be fixed, that must be fixed. See, the thing is, though, when he moves in, he wants to make the house his own. He is going to knock out walls. He is going to completely refurbish, repurpose some rooms in the house. He's going to add rooms. It's not necessarily as simple, or to the house painless process. But he's going to do as he will to make the house his own. And his end goal is perfection. We won't get there in this lifetime, but that doesn't mean he's ever going to stop pushing us, which sometimes means breaking parts of us, breaking parts of our lives, making things difficult in order to grow us and make us more like him. So there is a cost in that regard that we have to count. One of the main objections or problems people have is this whole notion of God's demand of perfection or his standard of perfection. Here Lewis uses what I think is another very good analogy. When a toddler is just learning to walk, he falls down an awful lot, runs into things, trips. But a good father doesn't punish the child for falling. The child is just learning to walk. No, a good father goes, helps the child back up, sometimes holds his hand, sometimes holds him up while he learns to move his legs. Sometimes just sets him back aright and lets him try again on his own. We're very much like that in our walk with God. We continue as we learn to be Christ-like. We continue to fall. We continue to make mistakes. Now, God isn't expecting us to make the same mistakes over and over again. I see it's one thing for a child to trip and fall out of a lack of balance or practice. It's another thing entirely if an adult does the same thing. We normally wouldn't consider that acceptable or normal. We have higher expectations. As we mature, God starts taking off the training wheels or removing his hands from ours and letting us get back up and try again. Never leaves us. Always leaves us with the Holy Spirit as the guide, as the strength, as the prod. But there is an expectation that we do, in fact, mature. And that is what this idea of perfection and perfecting the Christian looks like. It's a process that will not be completed until after we leave this life. But it's a process that continues, and there's a cost to it. And this is what Lewis is talking about. Now, I've said that, I think that's the third time. There is a cost to it. Because there's some effort required on our part. And there are some changes, sometimes, going back to the previous analogy, sometimes when God repurposes a room in our life, that may not have been a room that we wanted repurposed. He may fix something that we either didn't think was broken or, we knew it was broken, but we didn't really want it fixed. It's a lifelong, continuous process. If it's not happening in your life or mine, may not be trying to walk too closely or to imitate too carefully. Just a little thought for you. With that, folks, we've only got 2 chapters left before we dive into something new, and the chapters are definitely worth discussing. So until then, light something you like, maybe in a crazy interesting pipe. Enjoy your afternoon.